Nobody saw it coming. Just weeks ago, the WNBA was basking in a spotlight it hadn't seen in years. Packed arenas, primetime features, record-breaking viewership, and at the heart of it all, Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom whose rise wasn't just fast, it was historic. She was more than a player. She was a movement. And then, without warning, it all fell apart. Rumors swirled first. Whispers of locker room tension, on-court jealousy, and even strategic benching. Fans noticed the shift. Fewer minutes, colder stares, and a silence from Caitlin that spoke louder than any interview. Then came the moment that changed everything. Caitlin was out. No warning, no press conference, no farewell. Just gone. And almost instantly, so were the viewers' ratings nosedived. Merchandise sales slowed. Even networks began pulling back. But beneath the surface, a darker story was beginning to emerge, one that insiders say involves hidden agendas, internal league politics, and a clash of egos that threatened to tear the sport apart from the inside. This wasn't just about basketball, one source said. They wanted her out before she became bigger than the league itself. Now the questions are piling up. Was Caitlin pushed out? Did she walk away? And who's really behind the fallout that's left the league in chaos? In this special Expose, we're breaking down the full timeline, the alliances, the betrayal, and the shocking moves made in the shadows. And trust us, once you see what really happened, you'll never watch the WNBA the same way again. Stay tuned. The truth is just getting started. It all started with a cheer, May 2024. Caitlin Clark made her regular season debut in front of a sellout crowd, the kind of roar usually reserved for NBA finals. Her name echoed through arenas. Her jersey sold out in minutes, and broadcasters across the country scrambled to land exclusive deals just to get a piece of the wave. ESPN dubbed her the future of the league. And the WNBA, for the first time in years, was trending globally, night after night. But within weeks, the energy began to shift. At first, it was subtle. Passes, fewer minutes, quick. Substitutions that didn't make sense. Fans chalked it up to rookie adjustments, but insiders knew something was off. Behind the smiles and carefully crafted post-game interviews, tension was building. Whispers grew louder that some veteran players weren't thrilled with the way Clark was being pushed as the face of the league. She hasn't earned it. One anonymous player allegedly said during a leaked team meeting, "They're crowning her too fast." Then came the game in Chicago. The Fever had a shot to win in the final seconds. Caitlin was wide open at the three-point line, but the ball never came to her. Cameras caught her clapping for the ball, then freezing in confusion as the buzzer sounded. What followed was more telling than any box score. A cold shoulder, a half-hearted high five, and then silence on the bench. Social media exploded. Why didn't she get the ball? Is there drama in the locker room? This feels personal. The league tried to calm the storm. Press releases were issued. Interviews were lined up. But Caitlin, she stayed quiet. Her Instagram went dark. No tweets. No interviews. Nothing. And then the BENCHING in a game against a top-seeded team. With thousands tuning in specifically to watch her, Caitlin played just 12 minutes. No injury, no explanation. The coach called it a strategy decision. Strategy. Sports analysts were baffled. Fans were furious. And just like that, the honeymoon was over. The hashtags started trending. Hashtag let Caitlin play, hashtag WNBA politics, hashtag free Clark. But it was what happened next that changed everything. A leaked email reportedly from a WNBA executive surfaced online. It wasn't confirmed, but it spread fast. The message warned certain teams about overexposure risks and internal culture disruptions. Tied to rapid brand elevation of new players, the name wasn't mentioned, but everyone knew who it was about. They were trying to control her spotlight, one source close to her family said. The league wanted the buzz, but not if it meant shifting power away from the vets. Fans started connecting dots. Players in interviews making cryptic comments about earning respect. Others laughing off questions about Caitlyn being a generational talent. It wasn't just competitiveness. It was something deeper. A power struggle. Then came the moment no one expected. Caitlyn didn't show up, scheduled for a high-profile game that had been promoted for weeks. Her name on every poster. Ads playing during prime time, and she didn't take the floor. Not injured, not suspended, just absent. Reporters pressed. The team gave no answers. 24 hours later, the Fever issued a short, cold statement. Caitlyn Clark is stepping away for personal reasons. And just like that, she was gone. No. Camera, goodbye. No farewell moment. No proper explanation. Within days, ratings dropped by nearly 50%. Merchandise sales dropped overnight. Sponsors began quietly pulling digital ads, and season ticket renewals slowed dramatically. The WNBA, once soaring, was suddenly plummeting, and the person who had sparked its rise had vanished into silence. But here's where the story turns darker. Sources close to the league claim Caitlyn's departure wasn't entirely her decision. Allegedly, behind closed doors, high-level talks were held about limiting reliance on her image to avoid alienating veteran fan bases and unbalancing internal team cultures. In plain English, some teams felt threatened, and the league listened. They didn't protect her, a former team assistant said. They used her to drive numbers, then pulled her back when it made other people uncomfortable. And for fans, that was the last straw. Comment sections turned toxic. Twitter was on fire. And in every conversation, one question kept coming. Did the WNBA just push out its biggest star? Some fans blamed team politics. Others blamed league executives. Some even began speculating that Clark was pressured to step away to avoid causing a full-on player revolt. But whatever the truth was clear something had gone terribly wrong behind the scenes. And then, in the middle of the chaos, a bombshell. An anonymous player, calling herself Locker Room Truth, began posting cryptic updates to a burner account, screenshots, texts, and one audio clip where a voice, allegedly a coach, says she's good, but they're not ready to let her lead yet. Not ready. The same league that promoted her every highlight, ran interviews, booked primetime games, suddenly wasn't ready. It was now bigger than basketball. The story wasn't just about Caitlyn's exit. It was about a system that couldn't decide if it wanted to grow or stay comfortable, and the cost. One of the most promising athletes in the game pushed out in her rookie year. But what if Clark didn't just step away? What if she's planning something bigger, something off the court? Because the final twist is coming. While the media speculated and fans fought online, Caitlyn Clark disappeared. No sightings, no paparazzi snaps, no gym footage. For someone who had become the most watched athlete in the league overnight, her absence was deafening. But then, a private jet was spotted leaving Indianapolis, headed west, and on board. A passenger manifest leaked to a gossip blog included one name that sent shockwaves through the internet. See Clark. That same week, a well-known sports media executive hinted, without naming names, that someone very big was in Los Angeles for high-level meetings that could reshape the future of women's sports media. Coincidence? Or a calculated move? According to insiders, it wasn't just a break. Caitlyn wasn't stepping away. She was stepping out of the system, quietly, without public drama. Clark was meeting with Hollywood producers, streaming platforms, and a pair of venture capitalists who had a vision: build a new kind of brand, not just around basketball, but around her. A brand that didn't rely on the WNBA and certainly didn't require its permission. The idea? A hybrid docuseries meets live sports platform that would give fans full access to her training, her thoughts, her games, even if she wasn't playing in the league. This was always bigger than basketball, one source claimed. She doesn't need their court, she can build her own. And if that wasn't enough to ignite the fire, a leaked image surfaced from a private training facility in Beverly Hills. It showed Caitlin in full gear practicing jump shots alongside two agents from a major Hollywood talent agency. One fan captioned the pic, "She's not gone. She's just getting started." The WNBA tried to play it cool. Spokespeople told reporters that they respected her decision to step away and that the door remains open. But the tone had changed. Gone was the hype, the excitement, the celebration. In its place, silence, tight smiles, stiff statements, because deep down, they knew what was happening. They had underestimated her. They thought Clark needed them, but now looked like they might need her more. And while ratings kept falling, something else was rising. Her personal following, Caitlin's social media, despite being inactive, was gaining thousands of new followers by the hour. Every old clip, every college highlight, every moment she ever shined on the court, fans were rewatching, reposting, rebuilding the legend. And then, the trademark filings began. A series of legal documents filed under a holding company tied to Clark's inner circle revealed trademarks for phrases like "more than a player," "court queen," and "no bench, just legacy." Fans quickly decoded the message. She was done being sidelined. The most explosive filing? One phrase: "Own the game." Rumors swirled. Was it a show? A brand? A new league? One journalist close to the filing said, "This isn't just branding. It's a threat." The league boxed her out, and now she's building the court from scratch. Meanwhile, within the WNBA, panic was setting in. Player reps were reportedly divided. Some believed the league needed to do damage control and invite Clark back, apologize, and rebuild trust. Others feared doing so would be seen as weakness and open the door to other players trying to go rogue. But the fans had already made their choice. Viewership continued to decline week by week. Games without Clark had half the engagement. And in cities where she had been scheduled to play, tick refunds soared. Comments sections were filled with frustration. "We were here." For Caitlin, she was the league. You fumbled the future. And yet, the league still refused to speak her name directly. But that silence didn't stop what came next. In early June, a teaser trailer dropped online. No names, no logos. It's just black and white footage of a young girl shooting hoops in an empty gym. A voiceover, unmistakably Caitlin's, says, "They told me to wait my turn, to stay quiet, to earn it. But I don't play by their rules. I write my own." The video ends with one sentence: "Coming soon." The internet exploded. Was it a series? A documentary? A full-on breakaway tour? Nobody knew for sure. But one thing was clear: she wasn't hiding. She was plotting, and while Caitlin's comeback story was gaining steam, the WNBA was unraveling from the inside. Players began to speak out, not in support of Clark, but in frustration with the league's leadership. Poor scheduling, lack of transparency, inconsistent branding. "We should be building," one veteran tweeted, "but we're stuck in survival mode." The league that had just been on the brink of a renaissance was now cracking. And in the middle of it all, one question remained. Was this just fallout? Or was it the beginning of something bigger? Because if Clark wasn't coming back, what was she building? And more importantly, who was building it with her? A few quiet whispers hinted that she wasn't alone, that other players, current and former, were watching, interested, inspired. One even hinted anonymously that Caitlin might be lighting a match. We've all been too scared to strike. Was a rebellion brewing? And so the storm continues, Caitlin. Clark's exit wasn't just a headline, it was a signal, a warning shot, a shift in power so loud, the ripple effects are still shaking the WNBA to its core. What started as whispers of locker room tension has now grown into a full-blown movement. The league's brightest star walked out, and fans walked with her. The ratings dropped, trust eroded. The game changed, and maybe ... forever. But we're still left with more questions than answers. Is Caitlyn truly done with the WNBA? Or is this just a pause before the biggest power play of her career? What's the real reason the league stayed silent for so long? And perhaps most chilling of all, how many other players are watching from the shadows, ready to make the same move? Because this doesn't feel like the end, this feels like the beginning of a new era in women's sports, a fight for voice, for control, for ownership. And Caitlyn, she may have just lit the fuse, but now it's your turn. Do you think the league betrayed her? Is she building something bigger behind the scenes? Will she come back and take the crown on her terms? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching every theory. And if this saga shocked you even half as much as it shocked us, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this isn't just a story. This is a revolution in real time, and trust us, the next twist is already coming.